Diddy has major jailhouse meltdown, the sources said. I'm going to break down what a meltdown is when you in prison and you facing life for RICO or 848 or one of the big boy charges, you know? So sit back, enjoy the ride. If you're not subscribed, subscribe at Mecca Audio TV, Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story, and Unique Mecca Audio. All right? You know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We here. Check it out, Rob. P. Diddy, they said he had a major meltdown. I'm going to break down what it's like being in prison. I served 26 and a half years in federal prison. I got picked up. I was right there in MCC. I was in MDC. I was all that, you know, so you understand. And I was faced with all that. So I know what he's facing. So we're going to play this video. And as we play the video, you know, I'm going to give my commentary so you understand what it means in our terms so we could understand it, you know? All right, let's get this popping.
Charges came down in September when a grand jury indicted Diddy, half a year after those federal raids were first performed on his homes. Since he was booked, Diddy has made several bids for bail, hoping to get back to one of those homes or an apartment on New York's Upper East Side. Just last month, Diddy's team officially put in its third attempt for his release, asking that he be put on house arrest. The defense originally wanted Diddy to be held on house arrest at his Star Island mansion in Miami, Florida, one of the places that was actually raided way back in March. But Judge Arun Subramanian shot that down pretty quickly, and it was decided if Diddy was granted bail, he'd be staying in New York, specifically on the Upper East Side in a 3-bedroom apartment. That bail would have come with a $50 million price tag and some major restrictions on Diddy's house arrest. Inside the apartment, there would be 2 live-in guards and another guard downstairs. Diddy wouldn't be allowed to access any phones or the internet unless it was used to contact his legal team. And on top of all of that, there would be a vetted list of people approved to visit Diddy, including his legal counsel and, of course, his family. Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said there was a 0% chance that Diddy would be violent if he was released, and even called the bail package a, quote, very, very rigorous set of conditions. This part is wild. He said it was even more strict than the MDC jail. But Judge Subramanian, he didn't bite on that, and Diddy's bail was denied for the 3rd time. According to a report from the Daily Mail, that's why Diddy had a breakdown. A person close to him apparently said, quote, spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him. If we're to believe all this, Diddy had a meltdown in his cell and begged the guards to take him to the hospital for observation, but...
Do you believe this? They saying that Diddy had a breakdown in his cell and had the guards take him out. Diddy's in general population. General population means at 6 o'clock in the morning, they open the doors, they let you out, and you stay out till 4 o'clock on a weekday, and then they lock you in for 4 o'clock count. They call it in to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. get the call. They make sure all the inmates is accounted for from the amount of inmates they have in their counting system in Washington, D.C. And once it's clear, it trickled down to the different regions, and then it trickled down to the jails, and then they say count clear, and then they open the doors up again about 4:30, and then you're out till about 10 o'clock. And you're watching TV, you're walking to the chow hall, or if they bring the food to you, you eat in the dorm because he's not walking to the chow hall. So, you know, they bring the food to the dorm where he's at, but that's how they let him out at 6 in the morning, count him at 4 o'clock, and lock him in at 10 o'clock, and repeat that cycle every day. So by the time you get in 10 o'clock, you watching TV, you working out, you know, you playing cards, whatever you doing, you studying your case, whatever you doing. You know, by the time you go in after you take your shower, you lay down and you just want to listen to some music to get a little couple of hours sleep so you can get up and do it all over again and start fighting, trying to hope that you wind up winning that thing and move forward. You know, I had to do that for 26 years. Every time I put in a motion, I prayed for the best You know, I mean, I hope for the best, but you know, I prayed for the worst. You know what I mean? Because all we have is hope. And I kept my hope alive for 26 years, and Diddy don't look like a weak man that can't keep his hope alive. He know he in a bad situation, all that. He wasn't raised in the hood. He was raised in Mount Vernon, yes, all of that. But he's still a man. I know men from Mount Vernon that came in the system that was raised the same place he was raised, and they survived, and they went out, you know, with their honor intact, and they handled their own, you know. And he's a family man. Let's not forget that. He's a family man now. So, you know, all that, you know, that's what's wearing on him during the holiday season is being away from his children. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, after you used to, you know, where y'all want to go, you know, for Thanksgiving? Oh, we want to go to the south of France in the, you know, French Caribbean, and we want to wear chunkletas and flip flops. Forget what Unique Mecca Audio say. Gunshots to Unique Mecca Audio. We want to go somewhere and wear flip flops and chunkletas. And they jump on their private plane or they get on their private $68 million yacht and they go. And this Thanksgiving, they're walking through the metal detectors of the MDC prison in order to see their father instead of flying to the south of France or sailing to the, you know, to the Mediterranean. You understand? While we stuck in the snow, wondering how we gonna get to work if we got enough on our token card, you know what I mean, to take the MTA. While we worrying about them things, you know, they worried about, you know, which yacht they're gonna take. And now they have to visit them in the prison to go through these metal detectors and these searches and can't touch them, one hug in, one hug out. I mean, this is where we at right now. So that's what's taking a toll on them. If that's what you want to call a meltdown, you call it a meltdown. You understand what I'm saying? That's just called a moment in our world when you enter into the prison. That's a moment. Diddy's having a moment for the holidays, not a meltdown for the holidays. Because once they put you in that little dorm setting where you come out your cell at 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and go in at 10 o'clock, and you around, you know, 60 other men. You understand what I'm saying? When you have someone to talk to, something to stand up and watch someone playing chess, watch somebody playing coon can, watch somebody playing pinochle, spades, whatever. But you get to move around, and that freedom is just like being free, because it's when you're trapped in that little four walls and you let your thoughts get the best of you. You know what I mean? Because there's nowhere for it to expand out, because, you know, you shortened your breathing to stop your brain from thinking fast enough. You know, the reason why I know this, you know, and you know how I know this? I know this because when they locked me up in a hole in Southern State in phase one, I was in phase one in Southern State back in '85. While I was up in that joint, they put me in a shoe, and when I went in that hole, just the way it felt was cold and white, and there wasn't even no mattress. It was just a sheet they gave us, and it was a brand new prison. Well, that's what they gave me. So when I went in that joint, man, I laid down on that cold concrete. I felt like the walls was caving in on my head. I sat there laying on the cold concrete, feeling like the room is caving in, where I had to go to the door and breathe under the door to get my breathing back, to put oxygen in my brain, because I was letting my brain shut down by letting the claustrophobia get the best of me. And then my survival instincts came in and said, get some air, shoot some oxygen to your brain, Unique. So I crawled over to the door and I breathed under that joint. And as I breathed in, you know, the oxygen came in and, you know, hit my brain. Now the room got bigger and bigger. And then I grabbed onto a beautiful moment when me and my brother was chilling in the Bronx cutting up weed. My man Jeff to the left was coming over to see us from Jersey. We over there on Garden Street. Go get the book of Raw in Harlem. I speak on this in the Raw in Harlem. You know what I mean? At rawinharlem.com, and it's at Amazon. But now me and my man Jeff to the left, I'm laying down while I'm breathing under the door. I'm remembering, cutting up and packaging weed, smoking a chalice and just kicking it with the homie Jeff. You know what I mean? From out in T-Neck. They call him Lefty. But, you know, that's what I use to propel me forward. You know what I mean? To put some thoughts in my mind. And that's what's crazy is that he has enough thoughts in his mind to do 10 bids. Y'all don't even know. Puffy could survive 10 life sentences right now with all the memories he had because it was my memories that I used to keep me going. I had a big photo album like this. Big photo album with thousands of pictures in it. Every jail I went to, when I went through R&D, which is receiving a discharge, they wanted to take that photo album from me. But that was my bid. That was my, that was my motivation. That was my memories. When I'm laying in the cell and I'm feeling down, I could just look back at the pictures and remember those nights in Club 2000 when we was tossing it up. And now I'm locked in a federal cell with life plus 20. I was that different than Diddy throwing these big parties, you know what I mean? Whether they was freak offs or not, but these big parties that I seen in magazines while I was doing my 26 years. So I don't know what happened with no freak off or none of that. Not saying it didn't happen, but I'm just saying they wasn't reporting that back then. You know what I mean? But anyway, that got into the prison that I read in the magazines or I saw on the news channels. But that's what that is. Let's get back to this joint finish up, man. See, I go on and on about this.
But they refused. This same friend or person told the Daily Mail, quote, he eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. It took him a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it. This isn't the first time Diddy's mental health has come into question while he's been at MDC. When he first arrived, he was on suicide watch, which the U.S. Department of Justice National Institute of Corrections describes as supervisory precautions taken for suicidal inmates that require frequent observation. Diddy's suicide watch was only temporary, though. He was housed in a special protective unit of the jail after that for the first few weeks of his stay. But Diddy right now is in Gen Pop, meaning general population, the place where majority of the inmates stay.
That's what I was just telling you about when you come out 6 o'clock, go in for 4 o'clock count, and then you go in at, come out at 4, then you go back in at 10 o'clock for lockdown and start it over the next day. But on the weekends, they got the same thing, but it's 7 o'clock in the morning. You come out on the weekend and you go in at 10 o'clock in the morning. They call it really 9:30. So you're in your cell secure and they start counting the prison by 10 o'clock. So once they get that count, they shoot it to Washington, like I said, and that's what they're doing. And Diddy's now called part of that Gen Pop that the count have to be clear, So that's where we at.
And that's where he apparently had this meltdown over the holidays, at least according to one source.
Not a meltdown, a moment.
Another source, though, disagrees with all of this. They say Diddy is staying strong in jail despite missing his family a great deal at Christmas, which is a time he often spends with his children. But however Diddy spent the holidays, there are still a lot of questions in the case of Sean Combs. So we're turning now to former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani to talk all things Diddy. Nima, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Of course, Sierra. Thanks for having me, as always.
Now, some of the reports are that P. Diddy had a breakdown or meltdown over the holidays when he is still at MDC behind bars. What do you make of those reports? Could he have had this meltdown?
I believe the reports. And obviously, Diddy is someone who's rich and famous and has lived a life of luxury for many years. And now he's in federal prison during the holidays. So this isn't someone who's a hardened criminal who has spent a lot of time in custody. So the fact that he's spending Christmas and New Year's and future holidays in prison is probably finally getting to him. So I'm not surprised that he cracked.
Okay, let me break that down so y'all understand, because this is not to disrespect anybody, but this is a perfect analogy for me to show you. This is a civilian talking from a civilian point of view. He just expressed everything that he would be feeling because of where he was raised, because of his economical background and cultural raising. he made that analysis. And it's nothing wrong with it. He's being honest. So he's putting Diddy in his shoes. But I'm still putting Diddy in our shoes because y'all consider him as one of us. So now Diddy's in our shoes. And people in our shoes, we went through a different economical, cultural, financial, struggling, starving background than this young man that just exercised how he would look at it. Now, like I said, there's a lot of brothers I know that grew up with Diddy from up in Mount Vernon, you know what I mean? From the same street, same code, same all that. And them same dudes right now, I know when they was in prison, they held it down, they survived, they didn't crack, they had moments, I had moments, we all have moments. One night let's ride. One night I laid in my cell, right? And I was having a dream. I'm gonna tell y'all a good one. This is New Year's, so I'm gonna give y'all a New Year's special. I'm laying in my bed serving life plus 20, and at this time I got about 18 years in, right? And I'm laying down. I had a dream about me and my brother was chilling, and we was on the beach, and we was riding jet skis, and we got off and went in these little villa huts, you know, and we up in there chilling, and you know, we got girls in there, we got music, we smoking, we drinking. Man, that dream felt so real. While I was in the dream, I was telling myself, stop it, this is just a dream. And myself was talking back, said, no, you know, my brother was talking to me. My brother said, nah, Unique, you with me right now. I got you. I just took you from out of that prison and brought you here with me to let me show you that I'm good and I know how to come get you now. And that dream felt so real. But when I woke up, you know, as the day went on, I said, man, that was a hell of a dream. I kept trying to get back to it. I even went and laid down back in the bed, told the police close my door at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and tried to lay back and go on the beach with my brother. I'm laying down. They just wouldn't come. And then that night when I laid down, I put my head on the pillow and I closed my eyes and I got to where he was at. We was back on the beach and we was chilling. And it felt so real that I wanted to get up to use the bathroom, but I'm telling myself, don't get up, because I didn't want the dream to end. Don't get up, don't get up. I'm talking about I'm serving life plus 20 with no chance of parole, man. And I just escaped the grips of my captors. And my brother sat there and the police banged on the door to do count. I must have had the blanket over my head and they like to see your hands to make sure you're alive and you're not a dummy that you done made in the bed and cut the bars and got up out the joint, because all that happens, man. I can tell you one. If y'all want to hear it, put it in the comments. I can tell you one about that happened over there in Coleman where a dude cut the bars in Coleman. I can tell you one about where a dude hid up under a fruit truck and got out the feds. I could tell you all types of federal stories. I could tell you one where dude went to the bathroom. They had him in a county jail, and he went in the bathroom with the police, and he looking at 6 life sentences, and the police thinking that he's, you know, just a regular dude in the county jail with like a DWI. He go to the bathroom and told the police, man, I can't use the bathroom like this. Held his handcuffs off, and the dumb cop took the handcuffs off. He knocked the police out and escaped. I can tell you some stories now. You know, I done been there and done that. So when I'm telling you how Diddy is feeling, and this man is telling you how Diddy's feeling, it's where you at mentally for you to understand how Diddy's feeling from what we're telling you. I'm not belittling what he's saying. I'm just saying that that's from his growing. But Diddy was raised in Mount Vernon. See, I'm taking my time to break this down. Diddy was raised in Mount Vernon, so he's still a black man. He still have that fight. He still knows that he experienced some forms of racism growing up as a kid before he even went to college, because we all did. But then when he got where he was at, he forgot who he was and where he came from and thought he was with this man. And that's why this man over here is taking it now and putting his morals and principles in Diddy because Diddy infiltrated him to make him, this man speaking, feel like Diddy was one of them. You know what I mean? So if y'all believe Diddy was one of them, then that means you're saying Diddy never broke the law, he paid his taxes, and he was an upstanding citizen. That's who's speaking on how Diddy's feeling, and that's what I find ironic, you know, when I turn on this YouTube and hear certain people speak. Instead of him saying how I would feel. That's when you're supposed to use I words, sir. That's how I would feel. You know what I mean? That's how me, myself, and I would feel. That's not how Diddy would feel. Diddy was raised in Mount Vernon, man. Diddy finally got caught. Diddy was a regular dude out of Mount Vernon, and then he became this big billionaire, or what, 750 million, whatever y'all want to say, because you right bastards just look for anything to talk about. But it don't matter how much money he had. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it straight. Because there's nothing I hate. Excuse me. I'm not allowed to say that. There's nothing that I despise more than a rat or a flip-flop wearing in public rat bastard. Let's get back on. So that's where Diddy's at. So Diddy was raised in the hood, man. So that means that he's no different than a dude from Mount Vernon being put in jail right now. He got a lot of things on his mind with what he's facing, but he got a lot of good memories on his mind to counteract and balance that out, that when he start going in that depression, he got a whole lot of good memories to shoot him back up. So right now, Diddy's thoughts and his feelings and emotions is more like, you know, somebody speedballing because we ride. That's like somebody speedballing in the 70s, right? That's like somebody speedballing in the 70s and early 80s where they got cocaine and heroin they shot together. They shot the heroin so to bring him down so they nod. Then, you know, the cocaine would kick in and it'll bring him back up. And they'll nod out from the heroin and they'll jump back up. And that's what Diddy's having right now, if y'all could understand that analogy, that he's in there and he's thinking, man, they want to lock me up for life and take my companies. They said that I, you know, allegedly did these horrible things that I know that anybody that did those is supposed to, you know, rot in jail. You know what I mean? So this is what's on his mind while he's stressing over that and he start going in that depression. That's when, you know, the good memories of him sailing to France wearing his flip-flops in public. You know what I mean? Where they belong, over in France, not over here in the hood. You know you dead wrong wearing flip-flops in the hood. If y'all think y'all right wearing flip-flops in the hood, y'all deserve, you know, just all in fun, but letting you know, come on, you don't go in the hood and wear flip-flops. Car get out of control, you know what I mean? Fight, you know what I mean? Police pulling up, gunshot, anything could happen, and you got on flip-flops trying to run. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Do you really think you that safe that you could wear flip-flops in the hood? You're not on the boardwalk in France. You know what I mean? You're not on the beach in Italy. You're in the hood. Take off the flip-flops. Let me get back to this, man.
You're right. It's definitely a change of tune from his lavish mansions and the holiday season to what he's experiencing right now. As far as the mental health side of things, I remember when Diddy was first arrested, he was put on suicide watch. So obviously keeping tabs on his mental health. Here in this instance, he apparently was asking for the guards to take him to the hospital so he could be treated there. Is this something that we're going to keep an eye on, Diddy's mental health behind bars?
I think so. And obviously, you know, we haven't seen him, but your colleague Elizabeth has reported that, you know, he looks like he's lost some weight and he has some more gray and white hairs. I think
He lost some weight because he's eating prison food instead of 10-inch steaks. Of course he lost some weight. And of course his hair is grayer. He don't have the dye and can't get the Steve Harvey hairline while he's in there. So he don't have the makeup to make him look like what you see him look like. So what you see now is P. Diddy raw, uncut, and live. Gray hair looking like an old man because we getting old and this stuff stress you and make you feel old. Listen, 90, at least 90% of the men that go to prison and get prison time walk out with a ball spot. 90% of the men that come in the feds and get lengthy prison time, they walk out with a ball spot. Challenge me on that. Look at the brothers coming out of jail. We all got ball heads. If we don't look at our joint, that means that some of us want to hold on to it. You know what I mean? When you see it starting to fade, it's time to go, dog. You know what I mean? It's like you get a crack in the roof. You know what I mean? And start leaking. You know, that's what it is to me when you start seeing a little joint. That's why I cut my joint, because I'm standing as a warrior that made it through those times of dealing with the federal prison where it made me lose my hair. Because yes, the stress was that strong, but that's what made me even stronger as a man to talk to you today. All of that is that's the iron that shaped me. Those trials and tribulations, laying on the floor, breathing under the door, being in 80X Supermax, being tied down to a gurney while they stick a long 18-inch hose down my throat to pour liquid in to force feed me because I refuse to eat. Diddy might not go that far, but he knows he has to roll with certain things certain ways instead of just rolling over. Whether or not he roll over and work with them, who knows? We're going to find out in time. But I'm just saying that he knows right from wrong, meaning street from civilian. That man put him as a civilian. So that means if he tell he ain't do nothing wrong, if he's in the class of that man that just spoke. But if he's in our class, you know what I mean? And then he tell, now he violated because he claimed to be from the street. Not just a black man, you know what I mean? But I saw his image that they was putting out over the years while I was in prison for 26 years, like Diddy was this big street dude. That's what I saw. So y'all put in the comments, let me know. You know, let's keep this moving.
Think it's taken a toll on him. And I think that he expected, for some reason, that he would be out on bond. And obviously, that hasn't happened. There were three different bail applications that were denied by three different judges, and ultimately they withdrew their appeal. So now that it's hitting him that Diddy's going to be in custody at least until May 2025, I think he's just having a tough time coming to terms with it. Because like you said, here's someone that had multiple private jets, homes in New York, Miami, Los Angeles, and all of a sudden his only home is his prison cell. And
See, that's what I'm saying. See, he ain't been there. Listen, man, I had houses in New York, apartments in New York, houses in Virginia, houses in North Carolina, houses in Atlanta, and houses all the way down in Miami. And I didn't even really stay in Atlanta like that. But that was just for the pass through. And every house had a car with a stash, and we was ready to rock and roll. So if we get down there, we already got a car. We can make a move to get away and do what we want to do. We go down to Miami, see Mom Dukes. We party for the weekend. We shoot back up. He go to Virginia. I come to New York. He's slinging his thing in Virginia. I'm slinging my thing in New York. We doing our thing, and we rocking and rolling, and we moving forward. But that's, you know, the life that we was living. That then we go to New York, and while we're in New York, they got Cool G rap at the Apollo. So my brother said he coming up. I asked him what color you trying to wear. He tell me what color he trying to wear. I go see Dapper Dan. I go get him a suit made to match that. And then I go down to the Mercedes dealer to go get a car to match the suit that he just chose that he wanted to wear that night. That's how I was living. I could jump on a plane, and this before the terrorists watch and all that, with just my United States ID and fly from here to Santo Domingo, out the country with just my driver's license and my birth certificate. That's how sweet the airport was at one time before all this T stuff came about, where they had to get TSA to protect everyone. Because look what just happened yesterday. I didn't even do a show on what happened yesterday with them driving into people and all this crazy stuff, because all that break my heart. I come out of prison after 26 and a half years, and I'm seeing people do that on New Year's when people bringing in their holiday celebration and say they made it through a new year. And then I'm coming home to see our people vilify one of our own. When we watched the OJ thing, and 98% of us felt like OJ was guilty of sin, but we rode with OJ because he was one of us and it was us against them. At no place in there did we think we was them. We knew where we stood. And that's what I see the problem is today. We don't know where we stand. We don't know that this is still a black man. And the crazy part is, for you rat bastards, jump out there and say something, he don't even know that he's a black man anymore. Diddy don't even know where he stands. But he knows now he needs us. Now he needs us like OJ needed us, like Michael Jackson needed us. You understand? And we rallied behind those. That's where we was at then. So how you gonna throw one of yours to the wolves and expect me that came from that generation heart not to bleed? To see this. If he's guilty, he should be punished to the fullest extent of the law, but let the law play its course. You done tried, convicted him, and charged him in social media. He's already convicted. Y'all just waiting for him to get sanctioned by somebody that could put him in a cage. You know what I mean? Just so you understand where we at, man. Let's keep it moving.
And he's not getting the Christmas dinner with his family that he had. And we all saw the video of him having to spend his birthday in prison as well.
Wow, he spent his birthday in prison. Oh, how terrible. But he was alive, right? How many brothers and sisters didn't get to spend their birthdays because they lost their lives? Especially to gang violence, street violence, and all this violence that we're trying to prevent over here at Unique Mecca Audio. How many? But he's still one of us. He forgot he was one of us. I'm going to keep that 100 because I don't pick sides, so screw you rat bastards. You know what I mean? But I don't pick sides. I just lay the real and I paint the picture for you to see it and you pick your side. Was Diddy a gangster or was he a civilian over here with this European that was just speaking on how he feels Diddy's feeling? Because he done adopted Diddy as one of them. Now Diddy's saying, I want to be back to being one of us, one of y'all. You know what I mean? That's all that's happening, man. You know? But at the same time, we don't turn our backs on our people, man. They don't turn their backs on theirs. Name another race that turn their backs on their people. Please, somebody put it in the comments. Name another race that turn their backs on their people and another race you see on YouTube doing the stuff that you see us doing to each other on YouTube. Tell me another race. Put the link in the thing so we could all go check them out and get them some views too, because that's just entertainment, just like this crap is entertainment. This is not law. Let them go through the process of the law. Know that this is entertainment. Send me on the other race that's eating out their people back like us is doing. And I'm going to go watch it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and the thumbs up. All right, let's keep this thing moving. I can't get it no realer than that, man. I know I'm shocking y'all and scaring some of you rat bastards, but you know, you all who you are.
You talked about the bail that had been denied 3 separate times, and a lot of people are saying maybe Diddy did have this meltdown because he expected at this point, heading into 2025, he would be back at home, at least on house arrest. You also mentioned how his team has withdrawn their appeal. Why do you think that is? They just kind of accepted that Diddy's going to be in jail until at least the jury trial?
I think they saw the writing on the wall and the fact that, Judge Subramanian would probably be the best judge just because he's a Democratic appointee. He doesn't have a criminal background as a defense attorney or a prosecutor. So here's not someone that has a really pro-prosecution perspective. He considered this bail application for 2 hours and he still denied it. And normally when a district judge or a magistrate judge hears a bail motion, it's a de novo standard, which means for the first time. That means the previous applications the denials, they don't have any precedential impact. But when you go up on appeal, Sarah, that changes. An appellate court can only reverse a lower court's decision on bail if it's an abuse of discretion. So they really have to defer to that lower court. So the chances of the bail application being granted on appeal were less because of the different standard. And also,
All right, hold up. Before he go on with any more of this crap, let me clean it up so y'all understand. He did a lot of legal jargon. I should have been paused it, so apologize. But check it out, Ron. All they're really saying, because I break the law down, that's why my Cash App is going to be on the screen. That's my Instagram right above my head. Follow me. And they go to Cash App, hit the icon, make sure it says it was created in 2020. But check it out. Let me get back to where I was at, because that's how we ride at the Mecca. He's saying that Diddy, you understand what I'm saying? And I done lost my thought because he just said so much crap. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to disrespect it. That was a bunch of crap. Just let me get my thoughts together here with what he was talking about. He was talking about, why Diddy's bail was denied and why Diddy didn't file a third bail. Thank you. You should have told me. You're listening. Anyway, y'all could have put in the comments and reminded me if you know where I'm at. But anyway, so why his bail was denied a third time and why he didn't go to the appeal and he cut the appeal short. He cut the appeal short because Diddy knew he screwed up as a man. The judge told him, I'm looking at granting you this bail. I done let you go get private investigators and assistants to go find an apartment in New York City that you feel could be used as an institution to confine you. And you also took your money to pay people to design that and show the structure and setting and everything else. And I'm really thinking about giving you bail. Let me think about this. Give me a couple of days. That's what the judge told him. And then here goes Diddy with his smart ass. Right? The prosecutor said, but Your Honor, he's using his tablet and threatening witnesses and circumventing other people. And we think that that's what he's doing with his tablet. And that's what the problem is. So the judge said, okay, I need 2 days to think about this. Mr. Combs, what do you got to say about that? Can you stay off the tablet for 2 days? And Puffy said, hell yeah. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to use it. You know, in 2 days, you're going to let me know if you're going to release me? Oh, round of applause to you. And gunshots to my homies holding me down. You know what I mean? Now he go back, he feeling good, heart jumping, he just know he good. In 2 days, the judge gonna make the ruling. They done found the apartment, got the security guard, laid everything out. The judge looked at it. There's no way the judge gonna look at all that and not decide to do it, or even thinking about doing it. If he's thinking about doing it, all I gotta do is just follow the rules, do what he gotta say. And then this dumbass dude gets on the tablet and calls his son Justin, when he just told the judge that he wasn't gonna get on the tablet for 2 days till the judge made his ruling. And he go back and use the tablet in between that 2 days. Now he goes back to the judge and he says, let's have this bail hearing. And the prosecutor just jump out the gate like a racehorse firing his gun. That's the prosecutor. You know what I mean? The prosecutor just going off firing his gun. He's like, Your Honor, there's no way you can let this man go. He can't even follow the rules. He told you and I in open court that he wasn't going to use his tablet. He went back and he used his tablet. You know what I mean? He called his son. You don't know what message encrypted he told his son. So you don't know whose life is in danger. And we have to take this serious because if he's not following the rules that he's abiding by and set out his mouth in your courtroom under oath in front of you, how is he going to follow the rules if we let him go and put him to live in his own establishment with his own police force and probation people that's securing him in and halfway house people, and they his family members and paid by him? Prosecutor sat back and said, I got this trigger now. He said, I got him now. Gunshot. The prosecutor fired their gunshot, said Diddy on that one, right? So now Diddy lawyer got up there. Guess what Diddy lawyer said? Put what Diddy lawyer said in the joint. You know what I mean? He went right up there and said, because he know there was nothing to say. Diddy wore that, his lawyer wore that, and that's the way that was. And that's why he was denied bail. Diddy knew he was wrong, he took his responsibility, and that's when he pulled everything because he know that there's no way he gonna win an appeal court after he done said in open court to the lower court that I'm not gonna use my tablet, and he went back and used his tablet, just giving it to you raw. And then that excellent lawyer he got, it was his turn to speak. Mark Agafelio, I think his name is pronounced. Me and Jamaican, so me get it wrong sometimes. But Mark Agafelio, he knew there was nothing to say. So when the prosecutor came out to find his gun like that, hey, yo, when he came out there find his gun like that, Mark Agafelio was in there like, oh, ooh, 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 he breakdancing, he doing Mark Agafelio doing a Harlem Shake the way he getting shot up. Ooh, he doing a Harlem Shake. And he looked at Diddy like, man, you done screwed me. And Diddy looked at him and said, I know, boss. And that's why Mark Agafelio, when he was getting ready to say something, he said, abada, abada, abada. You know what I mean? Let's keep it at 100. But he already knew, I can't beat this. So my man done screwed himself. You know what I mean? That's one of those, he done shot himself in the leg and left his whole DNA in a trail of blood going home in the biggest snowstorm of the winter. And all they had to do was just follow the red blood through the snow. You know what I mean? That's what Diddy did when he went back and got on that tablet. But let's keep this moving, man. All right?
We know the application has gotten worse because of Diddy's own conduct while he's in prison. We've talked about how he's used other inmates' pack numbers and he's made these three-way calls allegedly, trying to intimidate witnesses. So not only do you have the bail denied because he's a risk of flight or danger to the community, but also because he's trying to obstruct justice and affect the integrity of the proceedings.
A lot going on even behind bars for Diddy. I know we talked, you and I believe, about those allegations that he was using other inmates' phone calls or their lines, you just mentioned it, to talk about things so that prosecutors couldn't listen in. I'm sure that federal prosecutors are still keeping a very close eye on P. Diddy, his communication with the outside world, as it were. Do you think they're going to use any of this information at the coming trial?
I do, because if you're a prosecutor, you have to anticipate the defense in the case. And the defense in this case is clear that the sexual contact happened, but it was consensual. So Diddy's defense team is going to do everything they can to convince the jury that even though the freak-offs happened, these were consensual sexual acts by adults. So how can they do this? They can do it through cross-examination to try to show that the victims who are testifying, they're lying. They can try to pay off the victims, either through an outright bribe or a civil settlement. I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything, but these are all possibilities. The government has raised the possibility that Diddy's trying to intimidate the witnesses so they change their testimony, because obviously we know it doesn't matter what the victims say in their civil complaints or what they told the FBI or prosecutors. They have to take the stand, testify, and tell the jurors the exact same thing. So if these victims go sideways, either before or during trial, that really helps Diddy in the defense.
All right, see that's what I'm saying, right? Let's take this up here because we got this fly system. I want to thank you. We're gonna take this into Diddy's jail cell, right? So this is Diddy's jail cell. What they're really saying, right? So you understand. This guy's talking from a civilian point of view to you, and I'm talking to you from a street point of view. If you're claiming Diddy is one of you, there's no way that you're supposed to want to turn Diddy over to them. If you feel you're one of them, meaning a civilian, you know what I mean? Then that means he's not one of you, so screw him. But make sure you're not breaking the law in the process. Because once you break that law, it's the same way they said back in slavery, one drop of black blood makes you black. One crime makes you a criminal, whether you get caught or not. Diddy's getting ready to go fight for his life right now. Diddy could be your brother, your cousin, your friend, your whatever, but you know him as this big mogul and superstar, and that's where it's at. So from that, you're putting him up here like in another sphere, and you just want to pull him down, is the way it's looking to me. I may be wrong. Somebody tell me. Please put in the comments. Been up here long enough. I can talk all day because I'm really having a good time just watching this and just kicking it and reminiscing about this big ass photo album I traveled around, went every prison with, man. They tried to take it everywhere I went, but nowhere would I let them take that photo album, because during those holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's that Diddy just experienced, I'll pull out those pictures and I look at it. What y'all need to do is find out, has Diddy been getting any pictures? And I bet you he's been getting pictures because he get a chance to look at the evidence. But when he look at those and even the evidence, it ain't got to be personal pictures. He look at the evidence. I know let him get a picture of his kids. He look at them. That's his motivation when he start feeling like he's down, like that heroin dropping you to the side, and then that cocaine pops you back up. And you're like, yo, I'm good, man. You know what I mean? And you go right back out. That's what Diddy's having right now. He's having that speedball, my trigger, but that speedball is on steroids with all the things he done did and the level he done did it at. If y'all can't understand this, y'all on the wrong channel. You know what I mean? If you don't understand what I just said in this video, especially right here in that last statement, as far as Diddy being on that speedball on steroids, because he nodding out from that dope. That dope is the feds getting him, trying to take everything he owned and destroy his credibility and everything. And then that cocaine kick in. Man, I'm good, my chicken. Where to fight at? This is what we got to do. You know what I mean? So you get those moments when you're doing time. And everybody doing time, whether it's Fed time, state time, county jail time, military time, brigade time, you get those moments, my dude. But that's not a meltdown. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Make sure you subscribe to Unique Mecca Audio to hear my official prison stories. I'm going to be putting them up. Let's keep this party moving. The QR code on the screen work. Cop my man Lou Sims' book. You know what it is. Gunshots. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Can of 26, he back on the strip, get it back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in hall. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio.